350, 360. Whoops. Smoke alarm went off. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a really cool infrared heater, but it's going to be built in stages where I'm going to show you several heating options and stoves along the way. And I'm going to end with a surprise that just blew my mind. You're going to love it. So let's go ahead and get started. This is one of the easiest and simplest stoves to build that puts off some of the most heat I've seen out of most of them that I've done. I mean, you can even cook with this. Now let me show you what it is, how to make it, and then we'll light it up so you can see it going. All it is two cans, okay, one can inside of another with carbon felt inside. Now to build this, what you need to have is two cans. One of them, this is a pineapple can that I got. So one can has to be shorter and wider than the other. So this can fits inside this one. Now this one I used it for something else, so the bottom of it is also gone. See that? So this is what it will look like when you take the label off of it. Okay, so we have two cans, and what we're going to do with one is put a hole in the bottom and 4 holes on the side, and that's going to fit inside here. So let's go ahead and get started really quick. So to make the holes, I find the best thing, instead of using one of these drills, let's put that away completely, is to use a step drill. This one you could drill it as big or as deep as you want, but they work really well in metal, which you're going to see. So of course what we're going to do is take off the label. So let's get this label off. See that? Once the label is off, all you do is you drill a hole in the bottom. This is going to be to refuel your stove. So it needs to be big enough for your funnel to fit in. Okay, that just barely fits. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Don't worry about the exact size. As long as it works, the can doesn't care. Okay, so here we go. We made that hole. Now let's make 4 holes on each side here. They're just for ventilation, so they're not any specific size. Matter of fact, they're not even the same size. Whoa, that one's a lot bigger. Okay, so this is going to fit inside the other one. Now what you're going to do, let's talk about this can, the shorter one, because this one is done now, okay? See how simple this is? Inside this one, I have some carbon felt. What I did was, I took my big piece of carbon felt that I ordered on Amazon. Don't worry if you don't know where to get it. There's a link in the description below where you can get the one that I got here. Anything between 3 and 5 millimeters. This is 3. I have some that's also 5 millimeters that I use, but the 3 seems to fit really good inside of here. Now I cut off a piece already that pretty much fits it, okay? And of course the one, I'm going to put the one that I've been using. Yeah, this piece is a little bit too long. So you want to get it so, again, you can see inside the can. So this fits right in and stays in by itself. I'm not gluing it or stapling it, anything. And I have it so it's just a little bit, you can see a little bit beyond the top. So probably about, oh, 1/4 inch, not all the way to the top. And what I'm going to do with this one now, remember there's no other holes in it or anything, is I'm going to put some denatured alcohol in it. Now before I do, this carbon felt, okay, it's not a regular felt, it's carbon felt, and it is, basically it's non-flammable. So it makes an eternal wick. You can just burn it and burn it and burn it, as you can see here. And you can see the sparks. Can you see what I'm doing? Whoops. But the stuff does not burn. But it will wick up the fuel and it'll work like a wick. It just won't burn the wick down, like if you make it out of cardboard or something like that. See that? It's not even hot. So you want it to be 100% carbon felt, okay? And like I said, we have the link on there if you want it. Now, Alcohol. You can use, I use denatured alcohol. You can use that. Or if you want, you can use the regular alcohol you get from the stores. This here is 91%. They have 75%. They will work. However, the closer to 100% alcohol works a lot cleaner, okay? It's a lot cleaner, a lot less smoke or toxins coming off. Of course, every alcohol is going to have some carbon monoxide or fumes going in the air. So before you use it, make sure you have a fire alarm. I have one right about here, I found out, and I set it off with this product yesterday because there's beams up there and all the smoke goes right up there. So I'm going to be doing it on that side when I light up the big one. The little one will be fine here. But if it does go off, don't worry, I have a fire extinguisher here. And you want to have a carbon monoxide detector too. Now this here is going to be used for heating a garage like I'm in right now, or a greenhouse. If you have an emergency and your electricity goes out in your house, you can use it in a small room, okay? A ventilated room is much better if you have a chimney or something going outdoors, or you could crack a window a bit. If you don't, make sure you have both the fire detector or smoke alarm and the carbon monoxide. I can't stress that enough because you want to be safe, okay? It's not designed for indoors. It can be used, but you want to keep careful eye on it. Don't use it while you're sleeping. There's always somebody saying, oh, this is going to be good. It's going to keep me warm while I'm sleeping. No, don't go to sleep. You want to keep an eye on it. So what we're going to do with this here is I'm going to just pour a little bit of it in here. I don't want to do too much because this is going to be a test. And let's see, I'm going to put some of it in one of these cans. Here we go. I'm going to put a little bit here and I'll show you why in a minute. Okay, just got a little bit in there, I'm putting in there. And I'm going to put this off to the side for now. And what we're going to do is, okay, I got the felt in there. If I'm using this just for a test, I put probably about that much for a test, because it's hard to put these things off when they get going. It's not like the little ones. This one here, you can just suffocate it with a can. But when I'm getting into the big infrared ones, okay, I don't have a can that big yet. So we'll talk about putting those out then. So if I'm just doing it for a few hours, I'll fill it up about here. If I want to do it for the day, you could fill it more full, but don't fill it right to the top. We don't want it to the top at all. So I'd say maybe between, you know, a quarter way and 3/4 of the way, depending on how long you want to use it, okay? This will burn for actually full will burn for about maybe 6 to 8 hours. Halfway will burn for about 3 to 4 hours, okay? Give you an idea. So I put that in there. Now I'm putting this cover right inside here. This is the one. Is this the new one? Actually, I'm going to save this for a new one. I'm going to put the old one in here, and you can see what I did with that. And she's ready to go. Wasn't that simple? 2 cans. Now let me show you what I'm going to do with this. I have a little syringe that I use for putting fiberglass and bubbles when I build my boats. So I'm going to take a little bit of this because I want to prime. You need to prime the felt, the carbon felt, until it gets hot. This will wick up the fuel, but what I do is I drop a little bit of the fuel around. Can you see what I'm doing? Drop in, just getting the wick wet. So now the carbon wick is soaking up fuel from the bottom of the can, and I'm putting some of this fuel in the top of the wick so it'll burn fairly easy. Now I'm going to take this because I'm putting it back in there later and getting it out of my way, okay? So now all I'd have to do is take this and watch how easy it is to light up. And she's going. So it might take you a little bit with the lighter to get it lit because, like I said, the stuff doesn't burn, okay? But once it wicks up, it takes a while to wick, and it has to get hot. Once the can starts to get hot around it, okay, it wicks up the fuel from the bottom. All right, so it will wick it up, but it has to have some heat. Sometimes I've even had to heat up the can a little bit to get it warm. Just so you know, I'm outside in the garage. This is mid-December, It's very cold in here. I think right now, actually, it's a warm day. Okay, it's 42 degrees. That's the coat. So it takes a little while, but you can see now it's starting to get, I'm going to bring it close to you here. Can you see the flames on there? I would turn off the light, but I got to go way over there for that, and I'll show you the light afterwards. So that's how it gets going. Now, this is the beginning part. This is the catalyst of the infrared stove. So what we would do with it, if you want to cook with it, okay, again, oxygen is important to get through there. So what I would probably do is get a couple bricks like this. Get them a little closer. And now the bricks alone, okay, will put off heat because as the heat kind of touches it, but maybe something like this here. All this is a big mandarin orange can. Isn't it great? This is all things that you have around the house, different kinds of cans. And I put holes in them with another high-tech tool. One of these. You ever seen these? Just a regular old can opener. And you take it and make the holes that way. So, I don't know how close you could actually get to the flame, but if you put this on top there, you could take your frying pan, you got the ventilation holes, and start cooking. Now, it'll take a little while to warm that up because I actually have wax inside there. In fact, hey, you want to see how long it takes to warm up? Let's do something really cool. I got something. Wait, can you see this? Oh, this is a Voda, okay? It's a Voda heat-powered fan. I just got it, came in a couple days ago. I haven't used it yet. Let's see how it works. Packed real nice. Put that on top there. And that's supposed to be, I guess, has something to do between the exchange between the heat going into it and the coolness, the differential between the hot and the cold. So, ooh, that's getting hot already. So what we're going to want to do is have some gloves too. So watch this for a second as I go and get my gloves because I'm very prepared. You thought I was going to Walmart, right? Okay. So I've got my gloves because I'm going to want to take the can off. Wow, that's getting pretty hot right now. Let's see how hot that is. Woohoo. 242 right now. Can you see over there? I don't know, let me see. 264. There we go. 295. 350, 360. Whoops. And there's the heater. The smoke alarm went off. Remember what I said about the alarm? Okay. And look, the fan's working. We'll put this on the other side for now. Well, hey there. It's hard to have a good experiment without having some goofs, right? So, remember I said the smoke alarm was straight up there? That's what's happening. Watch this. You see the alarm right up there? So the smoke goes up there and it gets caught because of that beam. It can't go anywhere. So just the lightest amount of smoke or heat will set that thing off. So, are we having fun yet? Let's go a little further with this demonstration. Now, the next part is, okay, we have the heater, which I put over there on my table. And so what we need to actually create a nice working heating system besides a stove, because I showed you how to make a stove with this and that can. Any way you want to cover it, you can get like a tripod, like a science tripod type thing, and put your pan on top of there. So there's a lot of options. But to make it into an infrared, what we're going to do is we're going to have to get something to surround it. And here we go. That's what the infrared system is going to look like. But move that over. There's got to be an easier way for me and you to see this easily. Oh, I got an idea. Why don't I take this and put it on a Lazy Susan, huh? All right, so I'm going to take this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this, and we're going to put some screening on to make that an infrared heater. And it's still burning over there. I need to find something that I can put on top of it. There we go, it finally has shut off. So this is what the system is going to look like. And this is going to fit in here with the infrared right on top of it and this. Okay, so how do we make this thing? Well, first of all, let's take everything out. This is the end cap for those heating vents. But you've seen the different heating ducts they got in the HVAC section in Home Depot, or you can get them on Amazon. This is an end cap. And how big is this? Well, it's funny you should ask. I just happen to have a ruler. So this one here is, this is an 8-inch end cap. So it's 8 inches, okay? And then I got, actually you're going to need 2 of these, or something else you can get is a cake tin, okay? Again, there's no important things that you have to have for this. Just get what you like, what looks good to you. Cake tins, these here I got for $1.25 at the dollar store, or the $1.25 store each. These cost a little bit more, but I like that it's flat going around rather than angled, and it just seems to fit really well on top. So we get 2 of these, or 2 of those. Then you got to get some metal. What I got was a sheet of this stuff. Okay, like it's aluminum. I got a sheet of this from Home Depot. A sheet of this aluminum, and then you just bend it until it fits the shape. So in this case, fits inside here. Isn't that cool? So you're going to want to bend it and bend it and bend it so it fits right inside. That there, so it ends up almost being like what you see. Now what I did to make it stay is I put 3 little rivets over here. 1, 2, 3. Now it's very simple to put a rivet in. All you got to do is go and get the rivets. They're these little things that look like that. And a rivet gun. And I'll put a link for you for these 2. And the rivet gun, you just basically drill a hole in there and you put this on and you go like this until, boom, usually about 3 or 4 times it breaks and it holds it on there really solid. So, or you can use sheet metal screws. Okay, I just don't have sheet metal screws. I do have some of these. So again, use what you have. You could probably even use a wood screw if you want to take it off and on all the time, or sheet metal screws even better. All right, so I've got that screwed on there. Now what else did I do? I got a smaller pipe end like this, only because I like to. This is a 4-inch, and what's the 4-inch one for? Just so that'll fit in there and not move around. I want to make sure it stays in the middle. Do you need that? No. Can you get something else? Yeah, if you can find a tin can a little bit bigger than this one and put that on there. And I actually pop riveted that on there. See the little pop rivet right in the middle of it? So I riveted that, and you can see on the bottom. See the rivets right there. And yeah, I put 4 legs that I had hanging around, 4 brass legs, only because it looks cool. And I'm also keeping it off of whatever surface so it doesn't get hot on the ground. So that's how you do that. You start with this piece, okay, the aluminum, bend the aluminum so it fits in the cap, and screw it in or bolt it in on one side or both sides, but one side was fine for me because this one just kind of, that's going to be going on and off, so I don't really care if it stays really, really good. Let me move this back so I don't have to keep on going up and down every time. Okay. Now, for the inside, you have to get a screening. So what I did was, I bought the screening. It comes with, let's see, how many of these? I got these online. Well, there's got to be an opening, right? It had to open somehow. It looks like there's 3 of them. Yeah, 3-piece wire mesh. So there's 3 pieces, and you can see this one here. I cut a little bit of it off. How tall do you want it? Well, the cans are going to be in there, and I'm thinking whatever you like. I got it so it goes about this high. This is actually 6 inches, so I made it about 6 inches. But I'd say 6 to 8 inches. You don't need much more of that, okay? And you need to put it in a circle like this. This is what's going to make it infrared. When the heat comes out of here, it's going to get this really hot and turn red, okay? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to use a small piece to kind of show you. Here's an extra piece I had right here. So you're going to take the full piece and take the can you're using, the middle can, okay, so wrap that around the middle can, all right, kind of like this here, so you can get the shape, because you want it to be able to go around this can and fit into this one, okay, into the outer one. Easiest way to do it is, again, wear gloves because this stuff is kind of miserable to deal with. Okay, and this is what you're going to get with a full, again, you're going to have a full sheet. It's going to go a little bit wider. Okay, so you get it like that. See how I wrapped it around? And hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get the ends to meet. There we go. Getting the ends to meet, and I'm going to fold it in half once. So see what I did? I just bent it in half once, and then I'm going to bend it in half one more time so it fits right on top there. Try to get it tight. I'm doing it on the table here so I can have some leverage. There we go. And I'm going to slide that off right now. Let's see, how do I slide it off? There we go. And then push it. Okay, and there you have it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It might not even be real round. But when you have that this way here, okay, on the stove, it needs to fit over that one a little bit. And it's going to come down and it's going to stop when it hits this one. Isn't that cool? This one actually is kind of perfect. The one I made is a little tight. So, I want to go ahead and light this to show you how the whole thing works. But we have the alarm to contend with. So, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it over there. Okay, so let me travel you over here, so we can get on the other side of the firing fury. See? There we go. Everybody says, does he have a fire extinguisher? Yes, I do. There we go. So we're going to do it right over here. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm not going to use a lazy Susan. I'm just going to bring this right here. Can you see it? Maybe let's bring it a little closer. I don't want to bring it closer. Okay, so we're going to have that there. Now I'm going to prime the wick a little bit. So I'm going to take it out for a minute. Can you all see? Where are you? Okay, good. So I'm going to prime the wick. Oops. You want to try to get the fuel inside more than outside. There we go. And hopefully she'll light right back up. Sometimes it takes a little while. You got to hold it to get it warm. It looks like it might have taken. There we go. It's not too hot right now, so I can still mess with it. I'm going to take it and put it right in here in the middle. Now this is going to be where the heat is going to reflect off of and come out in the room. So now I'm going to take this piece here. Let's see. I made a cap. Oh, by the way, this is just the bottom of the pineapple can. That's why that pineapple can has an opening on both ends. And this is just going to fit right on top like that. See how simple that is? And one thing missing. The cover. So there you have it, my complete infrared heater. So I only have a little fuel in there. Hopefully it won't burn out before it gets hot enough for you to see it work. It probably has enough fuel in there for about 20 minutes. I can see it starting to go lower already. I only put about that much fuel in the bottom. Okay, so that's going to get really hot. That's going to turn red, and you're going to see the flames coming up everywhere. Let me go ahead and turn off the lights to see if you can see this a little bit better. The problem is it's such a clean burning fuel that it's hard to see the flame. So like I said, this is great for a greenhouse, great for a garage. Like I said, I'm starting to warm up already. Matter of fact, I'm feeling it in the side of my face pretty good. Emergency heat for the house if you need to, but have your a noise maker like we just heard up here, your carbon monoxide detector, and your fire extinguisher handy. And I probably should have put more fuel in there, but it is going. And to top it off, I told you I had something very special to show you at the end. And I already showed you at the beginning though. This fan by Voda. And by the way, I love this thing. Don't you just love the way it works? I'll have a link for this in the description as well. And you put that up there, and as soon as that gets hot, it's going to start moving the air around the room. I'm going to bring you closer. Actually, I think even from there you can see the infrared really starting up. Let's take a little closer look. Are you getting warm? Warmer. Warmer. Whoa! I don't want you guys to get burnt, okay? So, I love this. This is one of my favorite heaters. Remember, we did it in stages. You can just do it with the 2 cans at the bottom. Okay, just 2 cans. The whole thing can be done without the fire alarm in about 5 minutes. Okay, drill a hole in the top, 4 holes on the bottom. Doesn't matter where they are. The fire doesn't care. Okay, then you put felt on the inside of the bigger can. Okay, the one you just cut the end off. And you put the small can in the big can. Pretty much that simple. I have a hole in the top of the small can so I can refeed it. Now, if you want, let me go ahead and show you something 1 second. Oops, I'm going to open the garage door just in case the smoke doesn't go back there. Okay, give it a little bit more ventilation. So to refuel it, after about 4 to 6 hours, it's going to go out. Let it cool off. Use your gloves. Take out that can. You can either refill it if you want, or have this other one already set and just pour it in this one. So you're taking out of one and putting it in the other. Okay? Oh, I did have another can like that. I didn't realize I had one that was already not cut. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is take the paper off this one and put this one in here with the felt. So I'm going to have 2 complete stoves. One, a bigger can, the smaller can. The smaller can needs to be about probably, or should be about 1 inch taller. I've seen people do them the same size or smaller, but it works better for me with 1 inch taller because that holds that mantle on from falling off, okay? Hole in the top, 4 holes on the sides, and there's your little camp stove. You can use this, put something on top of it, either a tripod or a couple bricks, and it could be a sheet of metal going across the top. And there's your stove top. Hey, look at that. The fan started. I just love this thing. Isn't that cool? Ooh, ah, fire, fire. The fire gods are looking down on me now, aren't they? I just love this thing. So go ahead and try your own. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer. If you have any really good ideas of other things like this that we could create, I would love to hear from you. I'm always looking for great ideas. I'm always looking for new experiments and other things I could use my fan with. The fan's still going. I wanted to show you different areas of this to see how hot it is. Right there at the top, 556. Go at the very top of this, 510. Wow, look at that mantle, huh? 650, 650. Right over here, the felt itself, 310. Now remember I said the can doesn't get too hot? It's only 180, 160. Then we have the outer can. It goes down considerably. Ooh, I wonder about how the, right where the fan is sitting. That's only 87 degrees, so it doesn't really take too much to get this fan going. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. Please share this with your friends and click on it a whole mess of times. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now. It's so cool. Ooh, it's nice in here now.